There we go. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I am not like, I don't want to take much time at all. And I am so excited that I'm not the one that's talking at you guys tonight and that I get to sit back and learn and listen because I feel like every time Taya and I talk, I'm like, I could literally, like, I could listen to her for hours because it's stuff that, yes, we are educated with the trainers and like, if you're doing the 2B mindset or you're doing ultimate portion fix, like for sure you learn these things and along you're on this journey, right? You just learn, you keep learning. And so, yes, I feel like I know a lot, but then there's a lot of things too that we don't necessarily learn with our programs. And it's things like inflammation and the woman's body and hormone growth and like depletion and fatigue and, you know, the way that our bodies, specifically to women, how our bodies respond to health and wellness and supplements and all these different things. And we're in a world right now where it's like there are so many things. And the best thing that we can do, and like she'll probably preach about this all day long, all night long. Don't worry, we won't keep you all night. But we're doing it the right way. We're eating healthy, we're moving our bodies, we're learning how our bodies respond to things, and this is the right way. So I'm excited. I'm not going to take any more time. I'm going to hand it over to Taya. She's going to talk for a little bit. There is a chat box in here, you guys. And if you're watching the recording, just comment below if there's any more questions that you think of throughout this video recording or on this live call. And then she will open it up at the end and she'll answer those questions. So you'll probably have a pen and paper with you while she's speaking, because this is what happens to me at first. I'm like, what do we talk about? I was like panicking. She's like, honestly, just let me speak and things will just kind of pop up, I'm sure. So yeah, take it away, my love, and let me know when you want me to share my screen. All right.
Okay. Just don't fall in that toilet, Shay.
I'm giving my secret away in the bathroom.
All right. A big topic for women is, in one word, inflammation. Belly bloat, stomach fat, cellulite. Those are the things that we constantly are battling. So then what do we as women do? Two things. We'll either eat less or we'll overtrain. So we get it in our mind that we need to work out more and more and more, right, to burn off those calories. And all that's doing is just compiling that inflammation. So then we're just basically, we're depleting our hormones, and there's so much to the equation. So I just made little point forms here. So inflammation. Let's talk about inflammation with our diet first, and then I thought tonight I'll break it into two parts. So before I move in from diet to like the overtraining end, if you have questions on the diet end and hormones, then feel free to pop in, okay? So we don't forget. Is that okay? Okay. So with inflammation, it can cover things like leaky gut, your irritable bowel syndromes, lupus, diabetes, arthritis, and all of that. And that typically stems from our body being too high in sugar. So what I really liked right now doing the MBF program, I forget her name. What's her name? Melissa?
Megan.
Okay.
Yeah, Megan.
Megan, very often I noticed, kept saying, you're not going to see results unless your diet's on point. And the reason is, if our diet is off, if we're eating the wrong types of carbohydrates, specifically, our body goes from here to here with inflammation, and then there's nothing you can really do. That's where that stomach bloat and the body fat starts fighting us as women. We think it's more fat, but it's actually inflammation. Does that make sense? So I want to explain this better. So diet speaking, the ultimate fix. So this one here. Okay. So what I like about it is it gives you the exact ratios, what specifically the woman's body needs to keep us always burning the right amount of energy. So if you're taking in sugars, for example, or the unhealthy carbs. So what I like about this diet is they're not scared to say, okay, you can have carbs. You know, your beans, your yams, your sweet potatoes, stuff like that. Our bodies need that. We're stuck in this world of keto thinkers that, and that's a whole other topic I could talk for hours on. The new thinking of keto is just protein, just fats, you know what I mean? And vegetables, and all carbs are evil. But the carbs that we need to avoid are the starchy carbs like potato chips, right? And sugars. So the reason is how it works in our body is you take in glucose, okay? So the insulin bonds with the glucose, so it's turned into ADP. So the ADP is in our body, that's the energy, our energy source, okay? That's what gives you the energy to do your workouts and keep going. But unclean eating means there's going to be a byproduct. So there's too much, the unhealthy carbs byproducts causes inflammation, but the good carbs do not. So if we're consuming unhealthy carbs, then that's where you're going to fight always that stomach bloat, the stomach fat, and so forth. So what I did today is put me right like out there in a vulnerable position. But I sent Shay this morning a picture of me out of bed, about to do my workout. So look specifically at that photo at my stomach. Do you have that up, Shay? So I still have a long ways to go, but you know, that was before I had my shake, I had my Energize, and I was about to do my workout. So just for tonight, what I did, so look at the second photo. What I did an hour, well, I guess 2 hours ago now, is I had some unhealthy carbs. In 20 minutes, my stomach went from what I looked like in the morning to that. 20 minutes after I had salt and vinegar, like literally, I had 15 tiny little salt and vinegar chips. Crazy, hey? So what that does is creates an imbalance in our hormones. It causes us to have high cortisol. We become insulin resistant, and then that puts the damper on our hormones. Yeah, does anybody have any questions on that? Is there anybody in the chat? Okay. I don't know how to use Zoom very good.
I'll let you know in the chat for sure. No, no questions other than me. I asked what those carbs might cause, like the carbs that might cause that. But those are what, and in the 2B mindset, if anyone does the 2B mindset, she calls them silly carbs, right? The white carbs, the pasta, the white breads, the starchy carbs that cling to your gut. But then there's the clean, the fiber-filled carbs, right? And that's where you look, and if you look at the ingredients with the 2B mindset, you learn this, is if the fiber content is higher than the sugar content, then that's, I mean, so long as it's not a certain amount of sugar content. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But when that's higher, it actually breaks it down and makes it into a complex carb, which actually works as energy. So very interesting that it works that way.
Yeah. So, you know, when we get a stomach bloat situation, we instantly go, we need to get rid of carbs. But think about an apple, for example. That's very healthy for us, and it's got a lot of carbs in it. So there's the healthy carbs and the fake carbs. So that's what we need to be careful of. These wrong carbs cause, like I mentioned, so now we're getting into the hormone end of it, high cortisol, and you become insulin resistant. So that's when your body's going to start not knowing what to do with the byproducts, the leftover sugars, because we have too much. And that's where it's going to start storing it in our body. So that's when you're going to have your stomach abdominal fat, you're going to have your cellulite, and so forth. And when it's too much, our muscles don't even have a chance to burn all that off. So That's why I like this diet plan, to be honest, because it's very balanced ratios. Um, and I know like this world is all preach, preach, preach about keto. But the true keto, if you go back to the very original keto creators, they preach having the healthy carbs. So once again, oh, Melissa's gone. Okay. Once again, it's avoiding the fake carbs, like vegetable oils as well, because that will cause more inflammation and so forth. Coconut oil is proven to lower inflammation, which when you do that, you'll notice your stomach will start going down too. Okay, now we're on the diet portion of it. So I dissected the Shakeology because I'm like that. So have you ever looked at the back of the bag and it's got the pictures of all the herbs and stuff? For example, it talks about the mushrooms on there, the maitake, is it called reishi? Reishi, I think it's reishi or reishi.
Reishi, yeah.
So any type of those mushrooms, they're to boost your immune system and lower your blood sugars. So it helps stabilize all those extra sugars we have in our bloodstream. Maca roots. That is like one of my favorite roots in the world. If you just took it by itself, it tastes brutal. But it is the main thing you can take for hormone stability. So if you're feeling low in estrogen and progesterone, which progesterone is actually called the spare tire hormone, you carry that in your stomach. I know, I can't remember who it was mentioned that postpartum after having a baby, like how do you get rid of that? You know, those cute little things cause us imbalances hormonally, right, Vanessa? So low progesterone, weight gain in your stomach, crazy menstrual painful cycles, lower sex drives, you're a little more sad. So that is one ingredient in that Shakeology that's going to dramatically improve those as well, those symptoms. Goji berry stabilizes your blood sugars as well. And then another amazing thing that's in this product, I take ashwagandha faithfully, but Shakeology has it in it. Ashwagandha is something the doctors would even recommend for you to balance out your hormone ratios and to get rid of the unhealthy cortisols and stuff and the insulin. And then moringa is another amazing one that would be recommended from anyone to lower inflammation. So if anybody's like super worried about that inflammation, like look what I did to myself in one tiny little snack. So if we can try so hard to avoid those little snacks like that, take your Shakeology, you'll be surprised at the machine you're going to become, honestly.
You know how much I love hearing you say that, because when she says that she dissected it, like she dissected it, no joke. Like she's like, and it has this and this and this. I'm like, yes, I know. She's like, but do you know what that does for you? It's hormones, it's all these things. I'm like,
yeah,
like brushing my shoulder, like I knew all those things. Like, yeah.
I'm one of those nerds. And then if anybody is taking the vegan Shakeology, rosehip chlorella. Chlorella is the chlorophyll. Another amazing, like everything is inflammation reducing agents in this product. So I haven't found a shake that's this amazing and has made me feel instantly this great, to be honest. So just in a nutshell, if you're feeling like bloated and sluggish, look at the results of just using this product. You preach with it. It will help you through. It's got all those hormone balancing factors to it as well that will help you through overcoming the inflammation. Okay, so I'm gonna go on now, just for time reasons, on to, so we talked about how us as women, we see a little split of stomach fat, so what are we gonna do? You know, we talked about the diet, and we were the first ones to go, well, I need less calories and I'm gonna not eat for a few hours, or But to wrap this section up, a human body does not recognize calorie in versus calorie out. That's another reason I really like both the diets, the 2B mindset and the, I'm bad with names, Shay, but the container diet.
Ultimate
Because they're
custom mix.
more about, yeah, they're about the portion sizes really, even though they do give us that calorie ratio. And I think it's because we're so branded in our minds from the old thinking, they still say the calorie portion of it. But our bodies don't recognize that. Our bodies recognize protein, fats, you know, our vegetation, carbs, and so forth. So keeping those balanced, eating appropriately, not skipping meals will definitely help you to start burning fat more efficiently, because that is a big part, a factor in balancing out your hormones naturally. Now, the second part is another thing. We as women go, my goodness, I'm gaining weight. So I need to work out in the morning and I need to go for a walk around the block. And then maybe I'm going to work out in the evening. And it's all about, you know, go, 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 go. That is called overtraining. Overtraining means no rest. Training means our exercise plus our recovery. So we need that recovery in there, or you're just going to go backwards. When we start overtraining, it is good luck. Good luck getting rid of that belly, that tummy. You're going to notice you're going to be defined everywhere, but this tummy is going to have this constant little like 4-month pregnant bulge, because you are depleting your hormones so much. You won't be able to grow from there. Women, when we work out, we can produce growth hormones at 800%. Men are at 200%. The type of workout needed to produce those hormones is interval training, high intensity HIIT training. So pretty much all the programs that are on the Beachbody. So they have that nailed. Shorter and intense will boost those hormones up so much. And that is our fat fighting hormone. That's the hormone that will help us to balance out the others. But if we take that fat burning hormone and then we go work out again, it actually shuts it off completely. It just kills it dead. Our growth hormones will burn for 48 hours. So that's why in the bodybuilding world, let's say, if you worked out, you did your leg day, you don't do your leg day the next day. It needs 40-hour repair to keep those growth hormones going. So for example, muscle burns fat program, so it's a leg day and then your cardio core day. So it's not hard on the legs. You're still, it's just keeping the hormones going, but you're not fatiguing it right down. And then you have your upper day. So, you're working on your upper large muscles. The chest is really focused on. So that's how you keep that hormone at that burning rate. So that keeps your growth hormones elevated. It starts chipping away, eating away your cortisol, and you become less insulin resistant. Does that make sense?
Means that you grab fat easier, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what that means. You grab them more onto more fatty.
Yes. Growth hormones are called the fountain of youth. So if you train what our bodies recommend, so just do your 20 to 40 minutes, one workout a day, stick to that. And then, have your Shakeology and follow your diet properly. And if you're just desperate for your glass of wine or, your carb, have that in the evening, because your body wants to burn and move all day. So that's the part where if you don't want to stop your hormones or affect them, do that later on. Because we like our wine, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it is a hormone inhibitor. So that's where we, everything kind of, it's like everything's combined. You can't get away from it. I think that was my part on that. So the reason the Beachbody diets work is because they have a very balanced fat intake and protein intake. So I did another direct comparison. I spent 2 hours actually comparing this diet to the true original keto plan. So for those of you that just like, oh, keto, I love keto, it's got the same protein and the same fat intake. So that goes to show you just how, no matter what diet we're on or way of eating, the fats are so important. To keep that growth hormone stimulated, to keep our bodies burning optimally, we need healthy fat. So yeah, so that will make us feel fuller, longer, less hungry, so that, we'll be like, oh, I guess it's time to eat now, instead of so starving that you run home, you have your bag of chips. Yeah. I'm wondering if I'm missing anything. Does anyone just want to start asking questions, whether it's hormonally or anything? Because I know I'm probably missing a lot. It's such a big, big topic.
It is. It can go a lot of different ways. We do have a couple. So one question, and I don't know how much you know about this, because I feel as though as far as the superfoods go, probably not very harmful. Vitamins, I'm not really sure. But if you were to drink more than one Shakeology a day, like 2, would that be fine? Like every now and then, Vanessa, or like every day? Every now and then.
Just every now and then. Yeah. Trying to curb some of those cravings. I am a junk food junkie. I love potato chips and all that jazz. So if I'm finding myself not really wanting to reach for a freaking carrot stick in the afternoon, I end up having an extra Shakeology.
Absolutely. Because your body will only absorb so the protein it needs. Right? But it's such a clean source of protein in the Shakeology. It's got the clean source of carbs. Everything's clean in it. It has all the minerals, the hormone balancing agents we want. I have 2 a day.
Okay.
When I crave my chocolate so bad, that's your body, your cortisol. So your cortisol is your stress hormone. We're so stressed nowadays. Everything is stressful. That's when you're going to go for the chocolate and the chips. So the Shakeology has all the cortisol lowering agents in it. That's the best thing you can do. Grab a shake. Worst case scenario, add a little bit of stevia and a little bit of chocolate almond milk and make it extremely chocolatey. And you won't have a craving for that for a while, right? Yeah. Or another trick that I have been doing personally is I add in my post-workout. I like my chocolate a lot. I put that in with my coffee and blend it. And my mind goes, I just had a mocha cappuccino. Like, it is so yummy. And I like my brown sugar stevia. I put in just a half a teaspoon, and then it is just amazing. So there's little tricks. Use those products. 2 scoops a day is going to do you good. It won't hurt you.
And you could always bake with it too, Vanessa. There's some really great like brownies, like fudge bars, protein balls. Like there's some good.
I made a lava chocolate cake with it in the microwave because I was desperate for chocolate the other day, and it was amazing. Yeah.
You need to start sharing these recipes with us. Don't hold back.
Yeah, it was an experiment gone really good.
I love it. And then another question from me actually is, because I love to work out, you know that, like 6 days a week for 4 years. I like to work out. That's my sanity. That's my therapy. If a trainer has a day off on there for a reason, do I take it?
Yes. So what does training mean again? I mentioned it.
And recover.
Training means exercise plus recovery. Overtraining is when you're just flat out working out.
Okay.
And I'm speaking from experience there. I overtrained about 4 years ago when I was contemplating, when I was bodybuilding and I was contemplating competing. And I ended up with solid frozen shoulder for 4 months. I couldn't move my arm at all. It was the most excruciating pain. Your body gets just depleted. And yeah, you can take in as much foods as you want. And once you've overtrained, it took me, I still sometimes feel it, so
take those rest
all
days.
of the trainers, they're professionals.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a question, which I'm really glad, Joanne, because I had it written down too for the nutrition part. How does this work for those who like to intermittent fast? How would what's your intake?
Well, Joanne knows.
Tell us. What's your take?
Intermittent fasting was designed in the beginning for diabetics. We all know a diabetic is someone that has major troubles controlling their blood sugars, right? So people with thyroid conditions, leaky gut syndrome, all those type things, intermittent fasting has been known to cure and help with that. However, intermittent fasting is designed so that when we do break our fast, if we go and reach for the carbs, we are just literally, we have raised our cortisol way higher. Our insulin resistance is now way higher because our body it's how we can define that is when you intermittent fast, your body's more starving for nutrients. So have you guys ever lit a tissue on fire? It's just gone, right? It burns too fast. You break that fast with the protein and the fat always. Yeah. And then it puts your body right in fat burning mode ASAP.
Okay.
So if you are doing muscle burns fat, for example, or something that's more strenuous, you're going to notice something that you're starving. Your body is telling you something that it needs the proteins and stuff ASAP. So that's when it's good to have your shake. Yeah.
Yeah, so I found that with MBF. So I did 4 rounds of MBF, but I'm also an intermittent faster. I have to for my gut, for everything. It's changed my life. I do it like 3 days a week. I have to.
But that's actually recommended is 3 to 4 days a week and no more, to be honest.
But MBF, I need my recover. So I had a hard time so the cardio core days, I actually didn't have my recover. And I intermittent fasted that day. And I like it cardio fasted. Like I'm fine with that. Be careful. I'm not saying everyone should do that because some people do get very dizzy. So if you're going to try intermittent fasting, test it out, have the food by you for cardio. But yeah, I had no idea. That's very interesting. I'm glad you asked that.
It doesn't mean, we're Canadianized. So it doesn't mean eat your dinner at 7 and then fast till noon. You want to try to eat in an 8-hour window. So if you get dizzy in the morning, maybe eat your breakfast at 4 o'clock and then eat at 10 in the morning. You know what I mean? Just kind of play with your window a bit. And it's baby steps. So, tomorrow try 9:30 and the next day try 9:45 and you can slowly trick your body. Typically when we're starving, you need to ask yourself, how many bottles of water have I drinking? Because usually our hunger hormone, I never say it properly, ghrelin, is telling you I'm darn thirsty. Like I need my water. So it's very important to have that water first and then, see where you're at. But it is common that when we intermittent fast, we have it in our heads, well, okay, when I eat, that's lunch. And then in 4 hours, I'm going to eat supper. So you only eat 2 meals a day. You're going to be at like 8 to 1,000 calories. And that's also where you're going to start your inflammation because now you're not giving your body the proper nutrients that it needs to especially build off of those workouts. So you wake up in the morning and go, what the heck? I've got this like belly fat. So, overeating and undereating are both equal there. So make sure that if you are an intermittent faster, you go, okay, snack, lunch, snack, my dinner. So you're just eating in a smaller window, but a little more often. Yeah.
Vanessa was saying that her sister trained for an Ironman and her body shut down. They couldn't figure out why. Stomach issues, hemorrhoids, everything. So she said, could it have been caused by hormones or overtraining?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on Ironman. Yeah.
Yeah, that we're like, we'll have a whole call for these sort of trainings because she's like, I mentioned it one time and she's like, oh gosh, we got to talk about this another day.
Yeah. No. I know a lot of people, because I'm a trainer, coming to me that have been damaged, that have Crohn's and colitis and every type of illness now because they joined a competition and they were, depleting themselves, starving themselves, and overtraining. And it's hard to get it out of their heads. Like my husband is a bodybuilder and he has it in his head, protein, 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 protein. Well, your body can only, like for women, I think we only actually absorb like 20 grams of protein.
Yeah.
So if you're throwing, and I think a man is 35 grams for my husband's body weight, he's 240 pounds. Your body, then your body just has to discard it and it becomes a byproduct. So now you got those dangerous radicals floating around in your body again. So that's why it's important to follow those specific guidelines for like your fist rule, your 1 cup purple cup rule, anything like that, so that you're not wasting anything and having that internal damage, which causes inflammation. Yeah.
Interesting. Love it.
I know, it's so interesting. Like, yeah.
Um,
And I hope I'm not I'm trying to break it down simpler.
yeah, no, it's perfect. No, we're all understanding it. Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. We'll take this one and then if anyone else has any more, just drop them really, really quick and then we'll let everybody go. I know it's getting late some places. One of the last question is there a time of the day for women that you find, like, is there a time in the day that's best to work out?
Nowadays, our schedules are so messed up, whether we have kids or we've got full-time jobs. But ideally, it's before we're so full of foods and stuff. You want to be able to burn off. That's what intermittent fasting is good for, because you can work off a lot of the acidity and that inflammation. Yeah, if it's not too long, that is. But traditionally, first thing before you're burning off just what you ate is ideal. Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Cool.
I feel like I just rambled in circles.
No, gosh, that was so informative. Like my mind is blown right now. First of all, as someone who was like at the very beginning when I first heard about Shakeology, I was like, and then obviously clearly fell in love with it. Because
I guess to wrap it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please do wrap it up, and then
wrap it up. Don't get discouraged in 1 week or 2 weeks of a program and you haven't lost like 10 pounds, right? Muscle burns fat, first of all. If you're doing that program, muscle is about 3 times the weight of that fluffy fat, okay? Don't weigh yourself, okay? And if you're going to be taking in those unhealthy carbs or having a glass of wine, it'll be a little slower. So don't be discouraged. It's a lifestyle change. That's what I tell everyone. A lifestyle change is forever. It's not just a quick little fix. So deal with your inside first, get rid of that inflammation, and everything is gonna fall into place for you. Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah. So there was one question posted earlier. Do we have to take any artificial hormone supplements to control our hormones? No. So if you do everything in the right balance, those hormones will naturally fall into place. However, like for myself speaking, I had a hysterectomy 2 years ago. I was so full of it was called adenomyosis, and it affected my progesterone so bad that I'm on a natural progesterone right now till it's balanced. So if anybody's finding that they just need that extra help, you always have the option of the bioidentical hormones. But don't ever put anything synthetic in your body, because then all it does is deplete your other hormones. But if you want to balance your hormones 100% perfectly natural, remember Shakeology has your macronutrient in it, it has your ashwagandha in it, it has your chlorella in it, and then your shorter high intensity workouts. Put your whole heart into it. Work out as hard as you can. High intensity is what gets the women's growth hormones at 800%. And then it keeps it afterburn burning for 48 hours. So that is the golden ticket right there. So don't overtrain to kill that hormone afterburn. And, you know, the eating is so hard for us. I know I'm an eater. So, okay, Vanessa. Zinc, I just see something about zinc and iron.
Yeah, so if my doctor put me on zinc and iron, do I change the over-the-counter they suggested for an all-natural?
Is it a chemical one that they put you on? Because the zinc should be fine.
I have no idea, to be honest. I just bought what they told me to.
Send me a picture after.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had an iron deficiency my whole life. I know actually a lot about iron. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have a look for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
Fabulous. All right.
This was amazing.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you.
good. I feel like I'm a rambler, so if it doesn't make sense, somebody's confused about something, please message on the Bod Squad or something, and yeah. We'll get her figured out. And if there's other topics, if you guys want to redo topics,
yes, let's do it again. Anything you guys suggestions. I want more of this happening in here. Honestly, like the more educated we are, the more we're going to be in control of ourselves, our bodies, our mind, our hormones, the way our bodies respond and react to workouts. We're going to like, this is the part of the journey, you guys. And like, and this is why I wanted to do this and to do the meal planning and prep parties, because I love that, Taya. It's a lifestyle, you guys. We forget this sometimes. We get into our tribe here, and you start a program and you just think you're here for the program. You're not here for the program. You're here to change your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn. You have to fail. You have to fall down. You have to do 7 programs sometimes to figure out what your body likes. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
It's just not. So
yeah.
Thank you for coming to us tonight. That was amazing.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on like the arthritis inflammation and magnesium and anything. So maybe we'll do that again next month.
Absolutely.